Hi there, guys. My name's Vino, and welcome to the Board Game One channel, where our focus is board gaming and board gaming related hobbies. And in this video, I'm going to be trying to repair, fix, clean, whatever you want to call it, this Timbertech airbrush. So I got this Timbertech compressor, which we'll talk about in a moment, and this Timbertech airbrush off of some of the Facebook Marketplace for, I think, actually a pretty damn good deal. If I'm being honest, doing my research, Timbertech is a good entry level airbrush to get into when it comes to Warhammer and miniatures. We do have a German instruction manual. I'm sure there's English in here somewhere. There we go. There are English instructions in there, but that's basically just safety instructions. Here's the actual airbrush itself. I do have two of them because the seller graciously provided me with two airbrushes. That one is in much dire straits than this one. So this is the one we're going to be focusing on today. So I've already, as you can see, taken it apart quite a bit. This inside here, the reservoir, was absolutely caked in paint. There was a black paint, or it looked black, right around the outside. It was spitting over the outside, and I've used some IPA, which I have here with me, some isopropyl alcohol to clean that out. I sprayed with the airbrush itself to get some flow through, to try and get that through. You can see there's still a little bit in the inside. However, I've managed to get that relatively clean. The reason for today's video is I need to reassemble it to see if it actually works. I do have with me, I do have some Model Air AV, which obviously is a paint. So there we go. We've got some of that, and we are going to try to see if I can get this to work in this video. I've got some water with me in this bottle right here. Obviously, this comes with some pipettes, so we hope you can use those pipettes with the water. Although, having said that, this being a airbrush paint, I may not need to dilute it. But the idea today is to get this fixed. We have a load of goodies in the tray here at the bottom. We've got the cap for the top. We've got this mechanism here, which we'll get to. We have a cotton bud that I must have put in there from last time when I was trying to clean this. We've got a couple of backs. Obviously, there's two airbrushes here. We'll get the better of the two looking backs. We also have the button. This is a pain in the arse to get back in, but obviously we're going to need to do that. Oh, that's the the air pressure valve for the other airbrush unit. There is the needle. That's the needle that goes inside, but we're actually going to put that to one side for now. And we also have these little pods here. We've got another pod here, and we've got a nozzle there. I'm going to put the nozzle there. I think that's everything. Yeah, it looks like that's everything. So, first thing I'm going to do is take off this the nib, the top, as I almost lose it. We're going to grab the little banner. I believe, I'm not mistaken, we can use this. Take my glasses off. If I'm not mistaken, we can use this, or maybe this one, to get this off. There we go. There we go. That's exactly what that's for, because you can tell there's actually a nut there that you can grab hold of with the spanner here. It's obviously in a particular direction. I just had it a moment ago. There we go. So we're gonna Oh, luckily, I think that fell into there. And what we're going to do, we are going to grab one of these. So this is the 0.5 millimeter. And then we're also going to grab the correct needle as well. So there you go. That's the 0.5 millimeter needle. So I know that everything matches. We got the 0.5 millimeter needle and we've got the nib and everything. So I'm going to open this very carefully because the parts in here are not only tiny, but they hurt when you poke yourself with them. So you do need to be very careful. So we're going to put that there and we're going to see if we can get this back into here. It's extremely finicky, but it does look like I've managed to do it. So righty tighty. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And there we go. That is definitely on there quite nicely. We're then going to take the nib, and that should go over the top there. And I do believe we can also take this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. I thought that went over the end there. So now we're going to take the 0.5 needle. Again, be very careful because this thing is sharp and delicate. So you can see that it has a little red protective thing on the front. And again, you've got to be very careful when doing this, making sure I haven't just picked up the wrong. There you go. That is definitely in there. We're then going to take, actually, we're going to remove the needle for now. We're going to put the needle right there. And what I'm going to do is grab this contraption, which needs to go inside, ideally. And it needs to go inside in a way that is going to be able to activate the button. So again, I did this the other day and it is a royal pain in the butt. I'm not gonna, which is why I'm doing it kind of off frame at the moment, because it is a, from what I can gather, right, okay, that is not spring tensioned, which it needs to be spring tensioned or it isn't going to work. So I'm trying to work out, okay, so that's the spring, that's that part. Oh, I think I know what needs to happen. So that seems to only go in this way. You screw that in. And then you've got that on the inside. And what this basically controls is the paint flow into the air, if you will, from the reservoir. So that's that. But again, it's not spring tensioned, which needs to be spring tensioned. Otherwise, it simply just doesn't work, which is the issue that I'm having. is to get it spring tensioned and spring tensioned enough that it's going to work. Right, so now we're going to grab the needle, and you want to thread the needle through here. Make sure it's the right way around. Yes, it is. You want to thread the needle through there, and then there we go. So that is now the needle all the way through. Oh, I've just realized something. We're going to have to put this in first, which is the button. Otherwise, we're going to get nowhere. So, right, guys, I had to do that off camera. I actually shut the camera off for a moment because that was extremely fiddly. But I've managed to get the button in. You can press down and you can pull it back. And I've managed to get this all situated. This is a bit loose because I think it has to be a little bit loose. We are then going to grab the needle. I do believe this is the needle that we are. We're then going to gently push the needle through here, and there we go. And now we are going to grab this part. I thought that was the next part. Let's bring this all the way back. Bring the part all the way back, and then see if we can actually get this on over. Yes, we need to. Could have sworn that was the next part, but I think this is the one for this particular airbrush because it is a bit dirty, paint on it and whatever else. So I'm actually really hoping this is the next part. At the moment, I'm being proved wrong, which leads me to believe there's an extra part. Also, that is still bent on the inside. It's not going over. Yeah, so that goes over there. But it definitely feels to me like there's something missing. So what extra part do I have here? That does that slip over there? That definitely slips over there. So that does look to me as if that goes there, and yep, that secures that. So where is this again? Let's just go over. Now we are getting a lot closer. It's not still not screwing in. Which leads me to believe I'm still missing a part. Either I'm missing a part or I haven't put back together this properly. This definitely looks to me as if this is for this. Yeah. Just trying to work out how it all goes. So we're gonna So there we go. We do have some movement on the needle there, like so. Definitely what we want. Push down, which will activate the air. We just need to work out a way of getting this back on. And definitely not happy at the moment, but doesn't go on that one. Just to this, I think definitely goes on the back here. That strongly makes me believe. So that's definitely that part, but for that airbrush. Put my glasses back on and see if I can find another component that I might be missing. Because this definitely feels, yeah, okay, done that. So we've secured that all down. We can loosen this. That's all happy. Do that. The needle doesn't come out, but this still activates this. Yep, there we go. Just something either needs to go on the back, all of that needs to shift forward to allow it to go back on. And I'm looking through everything that I have here. We do have this part. Let me see if that doesn't fit in there. So no, that is nothing as far as I can work out. We do have this part. Is this anything? There's probably a million people in the comment section shouting at me that know far more about airbrushes than I do. And they're kind of like, it's this part. This is the part you're missing. Let me, for sanity's sake, see if this fit. Oh, so it doesn't fit over that screw thread there, which again says to me there's definitely something. Let's unscrew this and see if this fits once I've backed this out. Let's grab this and let's. Oh, I see. I think what's happened. If we put this on there, there you go. So you can see here that it's like recessed in. So this can actually. There we go. So I think we are now getting to the bottom of what I need to do. And that is if we now push this very carefully back in. And I think I just need to like keep screwing, keep screwing, keep screwing, keep screwing. Yeah, keep screwing, keep screwing, keep screwing. Just keep screwing, just keep screwing. And if we now back this off, whoops. If I back that off all the way, and if I now push this all the way, and then we put that down there, we essentially now screw it in, but with this, pushing that all the way back so the spring actually tensions. That's my intention right now. And I think I'm doing it because we need the spring tension. Otherwise, there we go. Otherwise, it doesn't work. But it is extremely finicky. In a word, it is extremely finicky. Okay. Also, I think I've got it in upside down. So it's a learning experience. So we now need to put you in like so. I'm so close to just going with this. In fact, why not? So what I'm going to do is we're going to borrow the spring. And for you over here, we need the button. And we're going to fit you here. We're going to grab the other one. This doesn't have spring tension, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out. I'm going to do lefty loosey, righty tighty, of course. We're going to back this all the way out. I've got the spring in my mouth. I'm talking weird. We're going to back this all the way out. And there's a hell of a way to back out. And then we're going to fit the spring onto there. And then we're going to back it all the way back it all the way in. Put it all the way in. Very nice. That's what you want. We have a really smooth motion there, and I'm able to push this all the way in, and there we go. Cool. I've now got space in here. We are going to have to try and tension that all the way. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to do this part off camera quickly. Right, so I've managed to get that button back in, and it does have a very smooth motion, which is what we want. We're also going to grab this is the valve for the compressor. I'm just checking it to make sure it's all good. We're going to put, oh, wrong way. We're going to put that into the bottom here. And there we go. We have a very nice motion with that. We do have that part again. We're going to grab the needle. Oh, I've just realized we're going to have to I'm going to have to dismantle the tip of this because I need this tip. I almost tapped it, and that would have been a really bad idea because, as I said earlier, these things are bloody painful when you stab yourself with them. And yes, I am definitely speaking from experience on that one. So we got the nib. So that airbrush can go there. We're then going to grab this airbrush and we're going to put on the little nib. Again, being careful. Then we're just gonna, again, we're gonna tighten up I can find where. There we go. Actually, no, I've just lost that. I'm never going to find that. That's extremely irritating because I've only got the 0.2 left. Oh, that might be it. I may have just. Right, okay. Now let's grab the little spanner. And let's go righty-tighty this time, so it doesn't go flying out. We've then got the needle. Just absolutely that needle, because the other one has paint on it, clearly has been used. We're just going to poke that through, all the way through. There we go. And you can actually see it very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's poking out the end just a little bit, just enough. And then you grab your tip, and again, being the carefulest that you can be, there we go. We then grab this part, which you put over here, and that stops the needle from coming out. We've still got plenty of motion on there. And then we take the end, and we are going to take the nicer looking end. We're going to, and you can screw it all back in. And there we go. That's extremely loose because we just need to tighten that down. And there we go. We've got the, don't seem to have button. So let me double check. So that's definitely inside. So I'm actually going to switch over to this one because I know this one works. And we're just going to put that in there. We're going to make sure that is screwed in nicely. Yep, I have button, and I have, I back this out. Yep, I've got motion. That was definitely trying, I'm not going to lie, on that one. And I will see, I'll look online to see if Timbertech do replacement parts, because obviously I have lost potentially a couple of parts there when it comes to them going flying wherever it may be. But I think I've managed to salvage the situation. So now I'm going to grab the other side of the compressor, and we are going to put that onto here. And there we go. We have a, I'm hoping, working, very much working, airbrush. I'm going to turn on the compressor. It's going to be loud. It's actually not as loud as I expect it to be. But we do have air output. Nice air output, actually. You can definitely hear there is output there. Compressor's working quite nicely. I'm going to put everything, we'll keep that out. I'm going to put everything back in here that is for that. And we're going to move this carefully to one side, just in case any of the bits that flung off are still around. And what I'm going to do, put that down. We're going to grab some of the water. I'm actually going to drink some of this water. I'm a bit thirsty right now. So we actually need one of the pipettes. And I'm going to do this off camera. Quote unquote off camera. These pipettes are not the largest of pipettes. And this is where I wish I had a up here. We're going to try something really stupid, at least for me. And we're going to pour the camera's going to go over the place. I'm going to get water all over me, but I have water inside here now. And I need a piece of cardboard, which I have conveniently let me actually drank some of the water out there. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that cap on and rest the airbrush somewhere where it's not going to spill out all over the place. And I'm going to grab, nope, not that. I'm going to grab a bit of cardboard that I don't care about. That'll do. And what we're going to do is we are going to see, and straight away, straight away, you can't see it, I don't think. But if I press down and we go back straight away, you can see water spraying, which is an extremely good sign to me that something has gone correct. You can see the water all over the place. Airbrushing is a messy hobby, but by pushing that water all over the place. But if I also do this and then go back, yeah, I'm getting water all over myself, which is an extremely good sign that we have that. So I'm going to pipette out the water back into the bottle. Sorry, you can't see that. My apologies. Just going to pipette out all of that. Okay. And this is a really bad idea. So let me grab some of the paint. This is such a bad idea. I'm not even lying. Drop, drop. There we go. So you can see we've got some paint in there. I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And we're just going to see what happens. This is probably, as I said, an extremely bad idea. But then I say that, and look. We have what I think can only be described as a glorious success. I'm going to turn the compressor off And we're just gonna let the remainder of the air out. There we go. But yeah, to me, that is a absolute glorious success. I'm extremely happy how that went. Obviously, I've now got to clean that out of the paint, but that is, to be honest, the worst, the least of things that could have gone wrong. But I think that looking at that, that is a success. That is a success. I have a working airbrush there. I'm actually going to disconnect this from the compressor for now, and I'll find something that I can use to. I'll probably just dump a whole load of water in there and then rinse it out that way. I'll rinse it out in the sink or something for now. But yeah, that's been an absolute glorious success. I apologize for the camera angles and the camera call falling over in this video, but you know, bit of a guerrilla setup, but it's worked, and I think it's worked extremely well, and I'm very happy with how it's turned out. Until next time, guys, please take care and enjoy the rest of